Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown was taped tonight from the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. Of course, this was the go-home show for Clash at the Castle, which is tomorrow, which I will be reviewing Clash at the Castle tomorrow. So it's shaped up to be a good show. But Smackdown tonight, I thought it was a okay show, in my opinion. The crowd in Glasgow were energetic tonight. They made some noise. They were hyped up. But tonight on SmackDown, we saw Naomi. She ended up taking on Chelsea Green. Santos Escobar was in action, and he ended up taking on Apollo Crews. We also had Nia Jax versus Mia Yim. And the main event, Solo Sikoa took on Kevin Owens. But overall, SmackDown tonight, it was an okay show, in my opinion. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with the first match of the night, Naomi versus Chelsea Green. So before the match got underway, the women's champion ended up coming out, Bayley. She made her way down, got a big reaction from the crowd there in Glasgow. And then Naomi ended up coming out. So Bayley and Naomi ended up heading to the ring. And out came Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green was accompanied by Piper Niven. Of course, we had Samantha Irvin there. She ended up doing that awful introduction, Chelsea Green. Oh, God, I hate that. So Chelsea had a mic in hand. She ended up addressing her match against Naomi tonight. She ended up saying that she will beat Naomi. And then tomorrow at Clash at the Castle, Piper Niven will beat Bayley. So that's what Chelsea Green had to say. And then we had the match, which it was a okay match here. So Chelsea and Naomi ended up locking up as the match got underway. Chelsea Green ended up getting in a headlock on Naomi. Naomi ended up escaping out of the headlock. She ended up dropping Chelsea with a shoulder tackle. Naomi then hit the ropes. Chelsea ended up trying to beg Naomi off, but she ended up getting slapped by Naomi. Naomi then ended up hitting a leg drop. She ended up going for the cover, to which Chelsea ended up kicking out. And then Chelsea Green was sent into the corner by Naomi. Chelsea slid out of the corner. She called for a timeout. Of course, there is no timeout in pro wrestling. So Naomi ended up heading to the ropes, but Chelsea ended up catching Naomi with a kick on the apron. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Chelsea was in control of the match. She ended up catching in a chin lock on Naomi, to which Naomi ended up managing to escape out of the chin lock. Chelsea ended up going right back at Naomi. She ended up slamming Naomi face first against the canvas. And then she ended up sending Naomi into the corner. So Chelsea was then caught with a boot to the face by Naomi. Naomi ended up laying in some forearms on Chelsea. She then hit the ropes for a springboard kick, which sent Chelsea rolling to the outside. And Naomi then ended up catching Chelsea with a dive. Naomi then brought Chelsea back into the ring, and she connected with a high cross body. She ended up going for the cover, to which Chelsea ended up kicking out. Chelsea was then back in the corner as Naomi ended up hitting some punches, but Chelsea ended up sending Naomi away. She ended up getting the drop on Naomi. She ended up going for the cover, to which Naomi ended up kicking out. Chelsea went for the cover once again, and Naomi ended up kicking out again. So we had Naomi end up countering out, and she was sent to the corner where Chelsea ended up getting to her feet on the ropes, and she ended up getting both feet on the ropes to cheat a win, but Bayley intervened. She ended up taking Chelsea's feet off the ropes, and in that situation broke up the pin. So this led to Piper Niven stepping in for a confrontation with Bayley, and Chelsea was distracted by what was going on, that she ended up getting caught in a clutch by Naomi. She went for the cover, and there you go. Naomi ended up winning the match. All in all, it was an okay match between Naomi and Chelsea here. It was a nice win for Naomi. And Bayley versus Piper Niven tomorrow at Clash at the Castle. We all know that Bayley is going to retain the title. And then we went backstage and we saw Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin ended up thanking Nick Aldis for the opportunity on SmackDown. And then Legado del Fantasma ended up interrupting. Nick Aldis ended up telling Legado del Fantasma that they were fined for their actions because of last week when they ended up attacking Apollo Crews. So Nick Aldis ended up revealing that later on in the night, Santos Escobar will be facing Apollo Crews. But this was all done just to get the match set up. And then we had the Grayson Waller effect. And before the Grayson Waller effect started, we saw a QR code. Of course, the Uncle Howdy QR code. And the message flashed on the screen. And it said, "You have refused salvation." So then the Grayson Waller effect got underway. We had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in the ring. Theory ended up asking where all the good plants are. And Grayson Waller ended up saying that in Scotland, they can't even keep fake plants taken care of. So Grayson Waller then started running down the Glasgow crowd. And then he ended up welcoming the guests to the Grayson Waller effect, who were DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. So Gargano and Ciampa made their way to the ring. They got into the ring. They ended up removing one of the Grayson Waller effect signs. They tossed it out of the ring. And they ended up tossing a chair out of the ring. So Grayson Waller ended up telling the both of them that was an expensive chair that they just tossed out. Ciampa ended up knowing that it's still the Grayson Waller effect. So what does that make Austin Theory? His secretary? Waller then cut off Austin Theory so Waller could answer Ciampa's question. He ended up claiming that it would take too much time and money to change all the branding. But more importantly, they are tag team champions. Waller ended up saying that he would even take a bullet for Theory. So Gargano then pulled up footage from last week of Austin Theory being thrown by Grayson Waller into the path of Gargano and Ciampa. So we ended up seeing that. And then Waller was like, "Oh no, that was AI. That was not the real footage." But Ciampa cut Waller off. He ended up saying that these people didn't come here to see a talk show. They came here to see a fight for the WWE Tag Team Championship, right here tonight. So Austin Theory, he was going to talk, but once again he was cut off by Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller ended up saying that they never defend these titles in a hole like Glasgow. Gargano ended up saying that DIY are coming after those tag team titles. He ended up saying that he wants to talk to Theory. So Gargano ended up saying that him and Theory go way back. Of course, if you remember, when Austin Theory was in NXT, he was a part of The Way, which was the group of Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and himself, Austin Theory. Man, I missed The Way. Such a, fun, heel group. So Gargano ended up saying that he always believed in Austin Theory. He wants to say that he appreciates what Theory's done on his own. He ended up saying it makes him disappointed to see Grayson Waller use Austin Theory. So all this is to what Gargano said about Theory. This prompted Waller to blindside Gargano. So we had all four guys going at it. Waller pulled Theory into a super kick from Gargano. That was soon followed up by Ciampa hitting a running knee on Theory. Gargano ended up hitting a running knee on Waller, and that led to Theory and Waller end up escaping out of the ring, and that was basically how the segment ended. But DIY, Gargano and Ciampa, they have their eyes on the Tag Team Championship. They want the titles. But this is all leading up to the breakup of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So we're going to see that after, it's been 2 months of them since they won the titles at WrestleMania, that they're going to break them up. But solid segment it was. And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller tried to assure Austin Theory that everything is okay. So, Bayley and Naomi ended up stepping out. They ended up walking down the hall, and we had another QR code flash on the screen for the Uncle Howdy shtick. So, we had Bayley and Naomi. They were confronted by Blair Davenport. And then both Bayley and Naomi end up being blindsided by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Santos Escobar versus Apollo Crews. And surprisingly, this was a decent match here. So Apollo Crews started off the match with some forearms on Escobar. He connected with a belly-to-belly suplex, and then Escobar rolled out of the ring. Crews ended up going after Escobar. He was sent back into the ring by Escobar, who ended up getting him with some chops in the corner. So Escobar ended up sending Crews out of the ring. He started stomping away at Crews. And then Baron Corbin rushed down. Baron Corbin rushed down, keeping the rest of Legado del Fantasma, at bay. Because you had, of course, Elektra Lopez, you had Angel and Berto out there. So Apollo Crews and Escobar headed back into the ring. Apollo Crews ended up going for the cover on Escobar, to which Escobar kicked out. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Escobar was in control of the match. He ended up locking a chin lock on Apollo Crews. He had taken Crews into the corner, dropped into the canvas. Escobar went for the cover, and Crews ended up kicking out. Escobar ended up hitting a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Crews. So Escobar ended up going to work on Cruz' arms, but Cruz escaped and sent Escobar into the corner for a splash, which was then followed up by a clothesline to Escobar. Cruz then ended up hitting 2 German suplexes to Escobar. So we had Escobar end up finding out of another suplex, and then he was laid out with another clothesline by Apollo Crews. He then ended up hitting a fallaway slam on Escobar. He went for the cover, and Escobar kicked out. So Escobar ended up stopping Apollo Crews in his tracks because they ended up heading into the corner. Escobar was looking to go for a superplex, but Crews ended up shoving Escobar off, and he ended up getting the drop onto a knee strike from Escobar. So both guys ended up getting to their feet. They started trading strikes at each other. Escobar then ended up sending Crews into the ropes, but Crews caught Escobar with the Death Valley driver. So Crews ended up going for the cover, and Escobar ended up kicking out. So we had Angel and Humberto. They ended up trying to get involved. Corbin, once again, ended up going after them. So because Corbin was going after Berto and Angel, this led to Elektra Lopez allowing Santos Escobar to roll up Apollo Crews for the win. So Escobar ended up win the match. But overall, decent match it was. I didn't even know that Apollo Crews was still signed to the company. That's how much he's been in catering. 99%, 100% of the time. So, but with Baron Corbin out there, I feel that we're going to get a tag team with Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. So I think that's where it's going to be headed to. I would like to see, something happen with Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw, where Adam Pearce gets tired of Braun Breaker causing a lot of havoc on Monday Night Raw, and him sending Braun Breaker to SmackDown, so that way we get back Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin as a tag team. But who knows? But overall, decent match it was between Escobar and Apollo Crews. And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Champion, ended up making his way out. Of course, Glasgow was singing along to Cody Rhodes' theme, going, "Whoa!" So we had Cody end up taking some time. He greeted the fans as he headed down the ramp. And we had Cody end up entering the ring. Of course, getting a big pop from the crowd there in Glasgow. So, of course, Cody does his shtick, saying, "Well, Glasgow, what do you want to talk about?" Cody ended up saying that a couple weeks ago, he thought AJ Styles was going to retire. He ended up saying no one wants to be that guy who overstays his welcome. He ended up saying that Styles is starting to look like that guy. So, of course, the Glasgow crowd there, they were chanting, "Cody, Cody Rhodes." They were making a little, chant sing-along to Cody, which took place throughout this entire segment. The crowd was doing that. So Cody ended up saying that Styles has been given the impossible task of making Cody saying the words, in which the crowd ended up adding, "I quit." So then AJ Styles head out. Styles was accompanied by the OC, Gallows, and Anderson. So Styles started to speak, but he was then cut off by the crowd, just chanting for Cody, doing that Cody, Cody Rhodes. So Styles ended up talking about tricking Cody a couple of weeks ago in order to get this match. Of course, AJ Styles ended up pulling the Mark Henry, and Mark Henry, did his whole saying, "I'm going to retire," when John Cena was in the ring, on Monday Night Raw. And then Mark Henry ended up taking out John Cena, laying him out. That's the same thing what Styles did to Cody Rhodes. So Cody ended up speaking up, asking why Styles is standing so far away, and that they were supposed to have a conversation. So Cody was like, "Leave Horace and Jasper behind." Of course, he was talking about Gallows and Anderson. And he ended up telling Styles to get in the ring so they could talk man to man. So we had Styles end up coming into the ring, and there was a graphic that showed the SmackDown live and loud. Meaning, how loud is it there in the arena? And it reached the low 90s. So the crowd chanting, that was loud there. So Styles ended up talking about taking 17 years to get to the top. And he ended up addressing Cody quitting WWE all those years back. So this got the crowd quiet. Something that, of course, Styles acknowledges. He kept saying, "That's not all." So Styles took it personal here to Cody. So Styles ended up saying that Cody quit New Japan, and that he quit Ring of Honor. He kept saying that, in fact, Cody helped start a company, and after a couple years, he quit that too. Of course, Styles was mentioned in AEW because, of course, Cody was the one that started AEW. So I knew in some way that an AEW mention was going to be said. So Styles ended up saying that when the going gets tough, Cody Rhodes gets going. So Cody then ended up addressing this, saying that he did not quit those places, but rather he gambled on himself to chase something more, something greater. Cody ended up saying that if he was simply quitting, he wouldn't be holding this championship tonight. He ended up saying that if anyone has quit, it is Styles quitting on himself. So Cody ended up addressing Styles pretending to be Mark Henry for a night, and how he would love to hear Cody say the words, "I quit." So Styles ended up saying that it's natural for Cody to say those words, but he can't quit being phenomenal. Styles then ended up telling Cody and the fans in Glasgow and the whole WWE Universe now what he said before. He ended up saying that he's done when he says he's done. So Styles ended up saying that he vows to make Cody say those very words and win the Undisputed WWE Championship because he is AJ Styles. And that was how the segment ended. But what a good segment this was. This was a great confrontation between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles here. And the crowd just made this segment even more likable with them chanting for Cody. So I'm really looking forward to this match, tomorrow. Obviously, in the outcome that Cody Rhodes is going to retain the title. I don't see, Cody saying, "I quit." And then we went backstage, and we heard from the Street Profits. They were asked if they're chosen wisely to get involved in the Bloodline's business. So the Bloodline end up blindsiding the Street Profits, both Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Nick Aldis end up arriving with some officials to break things up between the Bloodline and the Street Profits. Kevin Owens end up getting in on the action as well. So we saw Kevin Owens back there. And pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Nia Jax, the Queen of the Ring, versus Mia Yim. And we had Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was on commentary for the match. And Nia Jax ended up making her way to the ring. Mia Yim was already in the ring. And we saw a clip of what happened last week when Mia Yim and Nia Jax went at it backstage. And before the bell rang, Mia Yim ended up making a dive on Nia Jax, which she botched. Total botch there. She ended up sending Nia Jax back in the ring. And the match got underway, which this was a quick match here. The only thing that happened was Tiffany Stratton splashed water at Mia Yim, which led to Mia Yim sending Tiffany Stratton over the commentary table. Mia Yim headed back into the ring. She was blindsided by Nia Jax. Nia Jax went up to the top, and she hit the Annihilator on Mia Yim. And there you go. Nia Jax ended up winning the match. Moving on. So we got an update from Kevin Owens backstage about the Street Profits. Kevin Owens ended up saying that the Street Profits are in no shape to have his back tonight. He ended up saying, but that's okay. He's gone at it alone before, and he's ready to do it again tonight. So that was what Kevin Owens had to say. And then we had a vignette of Logan Paul. Logan Paul was at a Tetris World Championship tournament. He was playing against a group of 14-year-olds. So we saw that. And then he arrived home to his house, only to find out that LA Knight was hanging out in his pool, in Logan Paul's pool. So LA Knight took a phone call. He ended up telling Logan Paul that he'll see him in Chicago next week, and he better bring the United States Championship. So that was basically that. So this is all leading up to a United States Championship match between LA Knight and Logan Paul. Without a doubt, you know that LA Knight is going to be the next United States champion. So then we saw Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes was hanging out in, I guess, the skybox with the crowd, and he had run down both LA Knight and Logan Paul. And Carmelo Hayes ended up announcing that he has a chance to qualify for the Money in the Bank. And he will soon be Melo in the Bank. So really glad that Carmelo Hayes is going to qualify for Money in the Bank. The guy deserves it. And the guy deserves to win the match, whoever they pair him up with. So then we saw Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa made his way through the hall backstage, and Nick Aldis ended up informing Sikoa that after what happened earlier, Tama Tonga and Tonga Leoa are barred from ringside because they have taken out the Street Profits. So Nick Aldis ended up telling Solo Sikoa that if both Tama and Tonga end up showing up, all three of them will be suspended. So Paul Heyman then ended up advising that losing tonight could mean he loses his leadership position with men who did not respect leadership in the first place. And Solo Sikoa ended up telling Paul Heyman that if he loses tonight, he's coming after him. So Solo Sikoa then ended up leaving. Paul Heyman was shocked, and pretty much that was basically that. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had an interview with Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. Of course, they got to be there. This is their home country. But sad news about Alba Fyre. Her mom ended up passing away last month, but the news came out, this week. But apparently, Alba Fyre's parents were in Orlando, and they both ended up crossing the street, and they were both struck by a car in Orlando. And her father ended up surviving. Her mother was pronounced dead at the scene. And they both were on a family holiday to visit Alba Fyre. And local police ended up saying that the driver cooperated at the scene and no charges are expected. I guess whoever killed Alba Fyre's mom, they're just going to let this slide. No charges are expected for that person. So Alba Fyre went on social media, and she kept saying on Friday, which was last month, my mom and dad were hit by a vehicle while crossing the road. Unfortunately, my mom didn't make it. Very sad. Prayers go out to Alba Fyre. But Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn end up promising that they didn't come home just to come home. They end up saying that they plan to leave Glasgow with the Women's Tag Team Championship. So pretty much that was basically what Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn had to say. But to me, I think that they're going to put the titles on Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn because it's in their home country. But that's my prediction. Who knows? Maybe Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will retain. But to me, Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn are going to win the titles. Main event, Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa ended up making his way out first, and he was accompanied by Paul Heyman. Kevin Owens then ended up heading out, and he ended up making a beeline for Solo Sikoa, and the match got underway, which this was a decent match here. Kevin Owens ended up sending Solo Sikoa into the corner. He started to deliver some strikes to Sikoa, and then we had both of them spill into the outside. Owens ended up sending Sikoa into the Prime hydration station, where bottles of Prime toppled to the floor. Kevin Owens ended up staying on the attack on Sikoa. He didn't even let Sikoa get a chance to bounce back. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, both Owens and Sikoa were back in the ring. Owens ended up sending Sikoa into the corner. Sikoa started fighting back. He ended up dropping Owens on the top rope, and he escaped to the outside. Owens ended up on the floor as Sikoa ended up stomping away at him. So Sikoa ended up rolling Owens back into the ring. So Kevin Owens ended up making it back in the ring. He was cut off by Sikoa, who started stomping down on him. Owens ended up getting sent to the ropes. Sikoa ended up taking Owens down with a shoulder tackle. He ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. So Owens ended up getting caught in the corner with a running hip attack from Sikoa. Sikoa ended up going for another hip attack, but Owens ended up getting out of the way. He ended up taking Sikoa down to the canvas. So both guys were trading strikes. Sikoa ended up on the ropes. Kevin Owens started punching away and then stomping at Sikoa. Of course, Kevin Owens had a shirt that said Scotland 316, which was cool. So Sikoa started to fight back, but he was soon dropped by Owens. Owens ended up going up to the top, but Owens was intercepted by Sikoa. So we had both Sikoa and Owens end up going at it on the turnbuckle. Owens knocked Sikoa off, and then he connected with a tornado DDT. Sikoa started fighting back with some strikes to Owens, and he ended up taking Owens down with a Samoan drop. Sikoa ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. Owens managed to fight back. He ended up sending Sikoa into the corner for a cannonball, and then he followed up with a swanton. He ended up going for the cover, and Sikoa ended up kicking out. So then we had Sikoa, and Owens ended up on the apron. Sikoa ended up countering whatever Kevin Owens was going to lay Sikoa out with. So he connected with a back body drop, which sent Owens onto the apron, which, of course, the hardest part of the ring. So he rolled out to the floor, and then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Sikoa had Owens up on the turnbuckle, and he was stopped from a superplex because Owens ended up knocking Sikoa off with an elbow strike, and then Owens ended up delivering a frog splash on Sikoa. He ended up going for the cover, and Sikoa ended up kicking out. So later on, we had Kevin Owens ended up going up to the top, and Sikoa ended up delivering some knees to Owens. So we had Owens end up delivering a stunner to Sikoa. He ended up going for the cover, and Paul Heyman got involved, and he got Sikoa's foot on the bottom rope. So Kevin Owens was pissed about this. Owens ended up going after Paul Heyman on the outside, and he backed Paul Heyman into the barricade. And with this happening, it gave an opening to Solo Sikoa. Sikoa ended up delivering a Samoan spike to Owens. So he ended up bringing Owens back into the ring, and he delivered another Samoan spike to Owens. And Sikoa ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Solo Sikoa ended up winning the match. Post-match, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa did not waste any time. They ran down to the ring to go after Kevin Owens because both Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are not barred from ringside because the match was over. So we had Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Solo Sikoa laying into Kevin Owens. And then Randy Orton ended up running down. Randy Orton got a big pop from the crowd there. Randy Orton made the save. Orton ended up fighting off both Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. He then ended up going after Solo Sikoa. Orton then ended up hitting the Drake DDT to Solo Sikoa. He was getting ready to go to hit the RKO on Sikoa, but Tonga Leoa ended up intervening, and Orton ended up laying out Tonga with an RKO, and that was basically how SmackDown went off the air. But overall, I thought this was a decent main event between Solo Sikoa and Kevin Owens. And Randy Orton coming out there to save Kevin Owens. Good stuff, in my opinion. But overall, SmackDown was a okay show tonight. I'm looking forward to Clash at the Castle tomorrow. Which, of course, like I said, I'll be covering Clash at the Castle tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Clash at the Castle. So, see you then.